Hi everyone, this is Ken Larson from Smart House Electric here at the lovely Bears Tanning in Clackamas, Portland, Oregon. And this is one of my old-time favorites here, the Opensun 550 Ergoline. Now, it is not all good, but the end result of this machine, the way that it presents itself, and the way that it feels to tan in this machine really makes it worth buying it. But there's a lot of buts when it comes to the technical aspect of this machine that you have to keep in mind as an owner. However, if you keep it nice and clean on the air intake that I will show in a second, this machine will not give you a tremendous amount of trouble. But again, this is kind of a hot machine, so if you don't keep the intake nice and clean, the acrylic is very, very susceptible to some early wear, and it's a big job to replace it. All this hardware will have to come off in order to replace this acrylic. So quite a bit of a task. And so what we do here, so we open up here, and then we open up this guy. And now we can lift this arrangement and it will latch in. And in here we have a intermittent acrylic, and the reason for this acrylic is to keep the air conditioning air away from our lamps and just project it on the acrylic so it's comfortable for the person. So a very nice feature. That's what Ergoline does do on all their machines with air conditioning, is that they run it over an intermittent acrylic. As you can hear up front is our T-Max system that's squealing up there. That's one thing that it's a safety feature to make sure that you don't spend time while you're working on the machine, which is a great thing, but it can also be a great frustration. And so let's quickly get to it here. These screws here come out, because I do want to show you where the intake filters are, because that is incredibly important. Okay, and you pull down here, and here we have all our intake filters right here. You can take them out if you like, but you can also just vacuum them right here. That's just fine. Inside of here though, you should get into once in a while and clean the intake for the air conditioning that sits right in here. On the older models, this is a newer model of the 550, this access, the access to the air conditioning, is actually by taking out this acrylic, taking out all the lamps, and then there's an access panel sitting with a couple of screws underneath the lamps in order to get to the filter. So quite a bit of a task. If ever needed that you need to work on your IntelliTime timer, the timer of this bed, it sits right behind the first filter here. That's also where you have located all the main power and the hookup for the music. So this bed is a little bit tricky when it comes to working on it. Compared to many other Ergolines, there's a little bit more well thought of as far as accessing everything. This is kind of a odd line, if you will. But I love the design that it comes out of it, and the tanning performance and the feel that you get from the reflective system of the facials, that you see these glass reflectors. So the facials are actually located, as you can see, in the bottom of the machine, and then it shines up on those plates, giving you an open feeling, hence the name Opensun 550. So let's leave this closed up before we all go crazy from the sound of the T-Max. Here we go. And you can see it went away. And as any other Ergoline, and this is something I haven't shown yet, is that whenever you have an error code showing like this, we have the acrylic panel open. That means an E036, and error code's 36. And then we hit the start button.
Before starting the tanning
to clear
session,
the
please
error.
make sure there are no items of any kind
This
on the
up
two
again.
high-pressure facial units. Then confirm this by pressing the start button. Enjoy your tanning experience.
All right. Let's stay with the cooling, and pretty tricky. Up underneath here, on both sides, we have air intake for the actual canopy. Something that is hard, something that's easy to miss. And on the very back side of this unit, back here, there's also filters. So it is a really good idea to place this 550 in a room that you're able to get around this machine. Because another thing why you'll want good access behind the machine is that this surveillance system here is super sensitive, and the way you adjust it is by opening up, and there's a little plastic tray underneath, or a cup that you can remove, and then you can remove 2 screws away from these lenses here, and you can adjust the little LED if it's out of alignment, shooting up against these reflective surfaces. Another thing with the 550 is that you probably will run into is that the reflective surface actually will wear off, and you will have to replace it, or you'll have to install a small round mirror. What I've been doing up to now is that I get a little mirror that I glue on from Michael's craft store. That might sound a little funny for a piece of $25,000 piece of equipment, but it works fantastic, and you won't have the problem again. So on the back of the machine, the adjustment there is very difficult if it's in a small room, and almost impossible. And so in this case here, we have the possibility of moving the plate back there by having all this access, and actually able to adjust these the little lenses, the little LEDs. And what I do to adjust them, I just want to quickly give that idea. If you run into this problem, there's a good chance if you have one of these beds, is that you place a piece of white paper, and then you want to target the red light right on that reflective layer. So lastly, I want to say about this machine, I mean, overall, I love this machine. Obviously, it's gorgeous, and is that it is possible to get a chip that only speaks English and not a mixture of English and Spanish, if you're interested in that. Available from JK for the voice guide. A little bit of an operation to get in there and change that, but it's an option. Thank you for watching. That was the Opensun 550. Thank you.